Okay, just a strange happening. I've been reading this not handbook, but the ebook I mentioned in the previous video. The ebook I'm reading is actually called A Wanderer's Handbook. The ebook is 566 pages, and I'm still reading it. And just got to a section, it just blew my mind. And I think when I stop here, so my mind doesn't get completely blown completely. Just stop at this point for a minute, for a little bit. I've got to stop a day or two or whatever because my mind is completely blown. Um, Everything I've read up to this point so far, maybe on chapter 5 or 6 or 7 or something, I don't know where I'm at anymore. My mind's blown. But there are some things that they mentioned in there. And the examples they use specifically is like being in the fourth, fifth, or sixth grade. They actually use a classroom type setting, and then being here at Earth is like returning to be a third grader again, starting over. And what we're trying to do is learn, grow, become more, understand more, that kind of thing, and reach a level to be able to graduate. And that is the actual term they used in there. I went, oh my God, no, they're using my terms now. My terms, they wrote this before me, okay? Apparently, I don't know. Uh, oh God, there's my catchphrase. I just don't know. I'm going to put some links below in my stream. All these links I'm putting below are before I ever heard the word Starseed. So all the links below, and what I'm talking about here, is before I even heard the word Starseed. So in my Strange Happening 44, I got it written down, was it, the title is Strange Happening 44 was It's Time and It's Now Time's Up. And I specifically mentioned in the description that this is like almost like a classroom setting, like I'm being, it's like a test. They finally got to me. It's like a test, and something like that. Like, I think that was the one. Yeah, I wrote it down here so I could read it. It says, let's review what you learned as if in a classroom. That was the feeling I got. Let's review what you've learned and it felt like I was in a classroom. Let's review what you've learned. So it went from it's time, which meant I put all these videos out here, to time's up, Strange Happening 44, to let's see what you've learned so far. Okay, okay, this ebook is mentioning stuff like this and these kind of similar words. So my mind is a bit blown. Strange Happening 48. I mentioned I must have passed the test because I heard all this other stuff and it blew my mind, and I actually got a name. I must have passed, must have kind of graduated because I got a name. Blew my mind. Uh, And then I'm reading more. So I read more. I've got my tablet here so I could look at it as I'm reading. And in part of it, it looks like, what page is this even? 106 out of 566. But there's a part in here that says, although it's extremely rare, there's very occasionally a special soul who achieves graduation while in incarnation, while here. And it says what it's like is the experience of each entity is unique in its perception of intelligent infinity. Perceptions range from a limitless joy to a strong dedication to service to others while here. And they'll often perceive this experience as one of unspeakable profundity. It's way beyond my comprehension to understand, kind of thing. I think that's probably what it means. I'm guessing because that's what it meant to me when it happened to me. And it says at this point, they could actually graduate, ascend, completely ascend kind of thing at this point. But they said it is usual for them not to do this because they see others as so much more important than themselves that they want to help. And they stay here to do that. My mind is blown. In a Strange Happening 65, Hoka Empath, I talked about seeing that universal source kind of thing, and it let me know his true name. I actually saw it, and it was overwhelming. I cannot even comprehend what happened so much. I can remember it, but it was so overwhelming. And they use the word joy here, and that's the perfect word to use. Because after that happened to me, that was the word I used. And I just wouldn't tell other people that word because it seems so simple. It's such a simple word to try to describe something like that. But that's what it was. Um, Joy beyond joy, a perfect joy beyond a perfect joy. It was joy, perfection beyond perfection of joy, not love. This was beyond love. Usually you think love is the top of everything, and it wasn't. This went beyond love. Um, it was wild. But apparently this can happen. And he said this is like an 8th tier. I'm like, what the hell? This is supposed to be a 3rd dimension and trying to progress to a 4th dimension. And if you're super lucky, a 6th dimension. But this kind of thing is an 8th level thing. And I'm like, what? I'm not being arrogant. I'm trying to be open, honest, open, kind, gentle, and honest. And that happened, and I put that in my videos before I ever heard the word Starseed. Also, Strange Happening 69, The Choice. I talk about how, for me, my view is everyone on the planet is so much more important than me, and I want to help as much as I can, any way I can, to help you. And I put that in my Strange Happening 69. That's a pretty emotional one. That is my goal, to really help you. And this is still before I learned the word Starseed. I learned the word Starseed in Strange Happening 70, the next day after Strange Happening 69, The Choice. The next one, I learned about Starseed. So all of this is before I even heard the word Starseed or knew anything about this. I put this in my videos before. So my mind's a little blown because this goes right along with some of my videos. And I'm like, how did I'm feeling all of this that this person had written down a long time before. And I haven't read any of this. I didn't even know the word Starseed. So this is just me going through intuition and just being and trying to learn. And all my life been trying to do that, just experience and learn. So the only thing I can hope for is that when it switched from it's time to time's up, meaning let's see what you've learned, let's review what you've learned kind of thing, and then it seemed it worked. Was me putting these videos out, maybe these crazy little videos will help someone. And maybe that's my way of just sharing. I am not a teacher, like I said in the last one. I can only try to share my experiences. And I know I've done things the wrong way here and there. I don't know, but that my mind is completely blown at the moment. I don't know. And a lot of this, they talk about a polarity. And I mentioned that too, the positive and the negative. And then in the choice, having to make a choice of one to the other. In this passage, in this ebook, it talks about the positive, service to others, the positive, service to others, that you need at least 51% to even try to progress. Think of others more than yourself. The negative, really need to go negative, 95% service to self, themselves, instead of to others. Service to themselves, total selfishness, get what you want. I talk about that kind of thing in the dark and the light and all that. I think I talked about that all before I learned the word Starseed. In this polarity, I talk about that. I fought these dark things. And when it came down to the choice, the odd thing is, for me, I'm different, I guess. I don't know what I am exactly still, but people choose one path or the other. I didn't choose either one. So what does that make me? I chose that higher source. I'm a servant for it. That's what I do. Whatever I can do to help is what I will do. But I don't serve one polarity or the other polarity. I serve that higher source. I don't serve anything earth-based, honestly. Never will. Anyway, my mind is completely blown. Completely blown for the day. For the day. Yeah, read that. Had to go get an ice cream bar. Yeah, it's a low carb ice cream bar, people. I know, I'm still on my little keto diet. Have lost like, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, something. It's working, so getting there. But it was a low carb ice cream bar. I had to have one after my mind is blown. So, anyway, just wow. Okay, just okay. As I'm closing down the tablet, just had to add this in here. As I'm closing down the tablet, the last little sentence on that page that I had open, just talking about it on my tablet, closing it down, the last sentence leaped out at me as I'm closing it down. I couldn't close down the tablet fast enough. And what it said is, the last step to graduating is knowing that you don't know anything, that you just don't know. I'm like,